Welcome, Summit Esports. I'm Proton Plat player, joined by my co-caster, Cat. Happier Cat,
Hello.
cat in a tin, whatever
Yep,
you want to go by. We're
just
here
cat's fine.
with Summit Premier League Season 4, Week 2, A Ship Without a Captain versus Conflict of Interest. So, this is an interesting matchup. We do have a sub on the side of Conflict of Interest, subbing in Ty Cole for Gamer Destroyer for in the support role. Do you have any thoughts here on this matchup, Cat?
Uh, I'm not super familiar with the matchup. Ship Without a Captain, they lost their first match, and Conflict of Interest won their first. So it's interesting to see if the momentum will keep up and if Conflict of Interest will be able to. Sorry, Ship Without a Captain won. My mistake. No, am I reading that wrong?
Ship Without a Captain, I
Sorry.
believe, lost. Conflict of
So sorry.
Interest
Yeah,
won.
Ship Without a Captain, and then Conflict of Interest won. Okay, it'll be interesting to see. Conflict of Interest can take a good 2-0. A Ship Without a Captain can take a 0. Go 1-1. Ship Without a Captain. I'm not super familiar with them. I know Fleece is on that team. Looking at their op.ggs, I'm kind of interested to see this match. It's going to be interesting to see how Conflict of Interest can adapt without having Gamer Destroyer on the team, because he was actually playing extremely well last week on that support pick. And now we are finally in the draft.
Yes, we are finally into draft, and we'll have to see what bans come out. Imagine maybe some bans towards Pyrosis. Maybe try to ban out Ty is Cool here, the support sub. Just get rid of Thresh.
Yeah. Makes sense. This will also be one of the last matches we have of the patch 14.3. So next week we may start to see some more variation, less of the AD mid lane AP junglers. Um, Ari was a big threat last week in the match between Conflict of Interest and Feeders Anonymous. So, or sorry, yeah, Conflict of Interest. Who are they played against? Sorry.
And
Conflict of Interest and yes, Feeders Anonymous. That Ari pickup was extremely impactful in both
Fleas
those
already
matches.
seems to be upset about these bans coming through on the support side. And then I guess Lord Tubbyton also probably is not too happy. Oh, three
Just
bans for
target
against
kick through the
Lord
board.
Tubbyton.
Tubbyton getting targeted, Fleece getting targeted. Finally, ban goes to a different player. Um, Conflict of Interest going to ban an ADC instead of 3 supports. What do you think a Ship Without a Captain is going to first pick here on blue side?
If I had to guess, Ship Without a Captain. Oh, Nico, I guess.
Neeko. I'm not used to seeing a Neeko actually make it into a match. Will be interesting to see. And that will be yeah, it's definitely gonna be interesting to see. I'm curious how they're gonna respond. Nico doesn't see a lot of play competitively.
Already the
So it's
Ash
gonna be
Lux
interesting to
coming
see.
through for the bot lane. I don't think that's a Lux mid, so I think this is just straight up picking bot lane.
The Ash early pick has been pretty common recently. Been seeing a lot of games, and I don't think you can really complain. It's a very strong first pickup. It provides a lot of utility, no matter what, really, in any matchup with the Enchanted Crystal Arrow across the map. It'll be interesting. Let's see how a Ship Without a Captain is going to respond. Caitlyn, and probably support pick here as well, if I had to guess.
Yeah, Caitlyn just they know what the bot lane's gonna be, so might as well pick out the bot lane. Unless that
Yeah,
Nico is the support.
that would be interesting. Nico support is kind of rough to play into Lux. They're about even range, but
Wait,
Nico's E.
I forgot World Soup is on the Ship Without a Captain, so of course that's gonna be Nico mid. This is gonna be Karma bot, Karma support.
So we do at least know both bot lanes. We have a Caitlyn Karma into an Ashe Lux. I wonder if conflict of interest is just going to pick their mid laner here and then actually save jungle for the second round of picks, or if they're just going to take jungle here and leave mid to see more of a ship without a captain's comp. They're just going to. Is that going to be a Seraphine support or a Seraphine middle?
This is going to be a Seraphine mid, if I had to guess.
Okay.
Fleas does play a pretty mean Lux. Wait, no. Wait, Ty's Cool actually is known to be a Seraphine player. I forget the conflict of interest has Ty's Cool. Fleas is on the other side. I mean, this could go either way.
Yeah. I'm just interested to see how the rest of the comp's getting filled out. We've now seen the entire bottom side of the map. So now we have to see jungle pick both being saved for last rounds a little bit interesting. Normally jungle gets picked in the first series of selections, but it'll be interesting to see what they're saving for these last picks. Twisted Fate banned by a ship without a captain.
That's a TF top.
TF top ban
against Pyrosis.
Yeah, that's pretty fair. I don't think I would want to face a Twisted Fate top either. Viego against the Fate of Nightmares Viego. Wait. Yes, Nightmares Viego.
Yeah, it would be Nightmares Viego.
Yep, I keep getting confused because Nightmare plays so much ADC as well. But he plays jungle for this. Nidalee. Looking at his stats here, he does pretty well on it in ranked, but Nidalee Hecarim.
So Nightmare on the Nidalee, and this is certainly one of the picks of
That's
Summit.
A bold thing to pick first as well.
Camille coming out. Hecarim Camille, so a lot of kind of wants to run you down and murder you on the side of a ship without a captain, and conflict of interest kind of poking out.
It looks like they're going to want to keep their distance here. Yeah, there's Karma Mantra E is going to give a lot of speed boost for the Hecarim Nico Camille to get good dives. If ship without a captain can get on conflict of interest, it's going to be pretty rough. But the issue is going to be getting on top of them with the Seraphine, with the Ashe, and then Jace as well.
So
rounding out the pick comp.
5 poke comp on the side of conflict of interest. That is certainly something.
Poke comps have kind of not been in meta very much recently. So it's going to be interesting to see how well they can execute it. They do have a good poke comp, but into a dive comp, it's going to be interesting. If a ship without a captain lets conflict of interest sit around and poke them down, then they won't have the HP to engage. But if they pull the trigger quick enough, it's going to be very difficult, I think, for conflict of interest to survive any of these dives. But what do you think? What do you think of these drafts? Which side do you think has the advantage here?
I think certainly a ship without a captain probably has a better draft here. I don't think there's very much tankiness on the side of conflict of interest. I think that if you get caught out on the side of conflict of interest, that it's gonna not look very pretty, because I feel like this Caitlyn, this Nico, this Hecarim Camille, they're just gonna tear apart conflict of interest like mincemeat.
Yeah, I agree. I think if any ability gets used from conflict of interest and they don't have all their peel tools like the Luxq, the Seraphine, then they're just going to get pounced on. And even if they do, with Hextech Ultimatum, Onslaught from Hecarim, it's going to be so difficult for conflict of interest to survive. And committing to a poke comp when there's the possibility of a dive like this is crazy. The Nidalee pick as well, it's just... I will be interested to see if conflict of interest will be able to kind of turn this draft around and show us what they're cooking. But otherwise, I have to agree. I'll have to go with ship without a captain to win this.
And on that note, we will take it to a brief break for the spectator delay, but don't go anywhere. Stay tuned, Summit. What is going on, Summiters? Apologies for the longer delay than usual. We did have a pause at the very beginning. Proton Plat player joined by Happier Cat, Cat in a Tin.
Yep.
And
Hello.
we're just going to see what's going on. It looks like we might have a little 5-stack going on.
Yeah, looks like a 5-point on the side of a ship without a captain, and a little bit of a stack from conflict of interest. It's gonna be a little interesting. I think they might just be watching for an invade. It's gonna be kind of. They don't have a great invade comp. It's not awful. They have the Seraphine, they have the Lux, but maybe they're trying to play to catch out World Soup. I'm not entirely sure.
They don't know this Hecarim's here.
Oh boy,
that spear sucked, Nightmare.
bit of a attempted violence between Nidalee and Nico. Bad romance. And fist bumps.
It's always
Please,
good to be, working with your team, alright? It's always good to be friendly.
That they're really getting the... Oh, these just got... Did they just spawn a ward? Where did they get gold from? Bit of a cheese here.
Oh no! Strand is face checking that brush and already taking a lot of damage. Tai School does get some return damage back, but now this lane is very difficult for Strand.
Yep. Good damage down. Even with the Seraphine, it's not enough. It's gonna be really hard with the Karma poke, but Fleece is taking a lot of damage there. If they get too aggressive and end up trading too much HP, then it could be alright. Strand does have the pots to get a little bit of HP back.
That is correct, but keeps on taking a lot of damage. Does have the Karmic back, so Borla will also kind of suffer in that trade, but level 2 here first, and they're going to have to respect this and wait until the wave crashes out their turret.
Ooh, he landed pop or good trade in the mid lane there. This Nico is going to have a lot more pressure than Lux early on. Another E landed, but Nightmare's here on the side.
Low. And now Nightmare's going in, but completely fails the combo. I'm sorry, but
the Summit Nidalee special.
That was interesting.
Either way, flash burned on World Soup, and Nightmare going for a gank bot lane now too. We're just gonna sit there in the bush and wait. I think Nightmare knows that Ship Without a Captain is looking to push in the bot wave over and over again.
Nice spacing there by Pyrosis. Doesn't get hit by the true damage and get some damage back.
Pressures are going to be in. Pyrosis doesn't have any mana. Might have to be a little careful here.
I think Pyrosis knocks him away.
Just gets knocked away,
Does
but
have the
no.
teleport.
Gonna be able to bandage everything up a little bit with that teleport, but bot lane's still looking pretty rough here for Conflict of Interest. A lot of pressure. Caitlyn getting a headshot and an extra auto off, but Nightmare's coming in for the gank.
And Fleas actually dodges the spear, the exhaust. The flash comes through, but cleansed by the Caitlyn. But Nightmare might be able to finish it off now. Oh, he gets hit by the trap. A little bit of healing coming back on that Caitlyn. Borla, Fleas will take the double Q, but in the end, no kills.
Yeah, I think if Nightmare flashed before he pounced, that might have actually been a kill, but instead he pounced, then flashed, and that kind of burned a good bit of the burst combo from Nidalee. Well played on the side of Ship Without a Captain to escape the gank there, but now everyone's low HP, but no mana from Conflict of Interest on Strand or on Tai.
Borla and Tai School do have the tempo gear. Or, sorry, Strand and Tai School, not Borla. Fleas and Borla have to be very careful.
They do have the push advantage, but they're gonna take the reset now. Interesting, dead even in the mid lane.
Mid laner's
Bit of an
taking
advantage
back.
for Pyrosis, and already a big CS lead for the Hecarim. Gonna be interesting to see if Nightmare is gonna be able to stay in the game when it comes to CS. Hecarim's probably just gonna sit here and power farm, and Nightmare's gonna try and gank a lot.
Nightmare's going in once again, but just the damage is just not there. No items on this Nidalee.
Nightmare even landed a good spear, I believe, to start that fight. Saw the Hunter's Mark on World Suit, but still just no damage, no items. Hasn't taken base yet.
And this is the issue with playing Nidalee, is that if you get behind, the game is just so miserable to play.
And already kind of seeing that.
We might have a top gank here. Trasbuto looking for something on Pyrosis. Pyrosis. Hextech Ultimatum is coming through. Does have the flash though, and no ultimate on the Hecarim, so Pyrosis is able to escape. We'll have to burn the flash though.
Poor Trasbuto missed a cannon for that fight as well. That is tough. But he's gonna get the wave pushed in.
Oh, World Soup just gets absolutely demolished by Lord Tummington. Finds a good opportunity. Just gets that first blood.
Yeah, just Hallucin Singularity into Final Spark, taking out World Soup under his own tower. And Nico, very low mobility, you don't have W and you don't have anything, so hard to escape that.
It looks like Dragon is being started up here by the side of Conflict of Interest. Should be a successful Baron take, but Grubs were taken on the other side, so trade across the board.
Yeah, and so far, game's looking pretty even, except for the CS in bot lane. 20 CS lead early. Ahri has a BF sword on first base for Borla. Gonna be interesting to see if the Caitlyn can push that lead. Nightmare is gonna just back in River. About to say, if there's a fight there, Eli's in the area, or Hecarim's in the area.
Lord Tubbington playing very aggressively, wants to kill World Soup, knows that Pyrosis is here with the support, and that flash is not enough to save World Soup. Kill will get picked up. Borla and Fleas fighting. Strand and Tai is cool, and both sides taking a lot of damage. Pyrosis will get ulted on by the Hecarim. That will be a trade kill back on OP kill switch.
Yeah, good attempt with the Pop Blossom to try and save that from World Soup, but just not enough. They probably didn't expect the top lane roam 8 minutes into the game, and I think Pyrosis backing on a ward, completely caught in his unawares by the onslaught over the wall. Bot lane still gonna be a crazy struggle for Conflict of Interest if they don't get some help from Nightmare or Tubbyton. Just gonna get repeat pushed on a tower and poked out by Fleas and Borla. But neither Fleas nor Borla not looking very healthy either, so
Lord Tubbyton is just showing no fear here, pushing World Soup out. Those minions are to the turret. Nightmare is coming in, trying to kill Krasbuto, but unfortunately Krasbuto is just too tanky and has the escape options. Little Teemo thumbs up, and that's all that Nidalee will find.
yeah, I think World Soup can. I think World Soup was just worried about Nightmare.
Oh, Nightmare is greeting very hard. Oh, Krasbuto flashes, misses the sweep. I don't think Nightmare actually escapes here. We'll have to see, though.
I don't
Hiding
think so.
inside the brush? Okay, the flash coming through. And now Pyrosis might actually suffer the punishment here for Nightmare's overextension. But Pyrosis is still alive. Will fall. 1-for-1 trade. That Enchanted Crystal arrow comes through, gets a large stun, but Nightmare just does not have enough damage. Is actually going in? Wait a second, Nightmare, what are you...
Can we check Nightmare's PayPal account? I don't know about that. Tries to pounce in on World Soup, even though World Soup still has the Pop Blossom up. Even still, even if it was just World Soup or just Krasbuto, I don't think there's any way Nightmare wins that.
I don't know,
Bit of a limit test.
I don't know. Lord Tubbyton will flash away, flash for flash. But I think you take that.
Yeah, just very... Oh, that's gonna hurt. That's gonna hurt Krasbuto's tempo a good bit, getting the backstopped by Pyrosis. Now that wave is gonna get back to Pyrosis' tower, or Krasbuto's tower. Oh no.
A little bit of banter going on in the all chat.
There has been a lot of attention to the mid ganks, but it looks like actually Strand's been able to push back into this game.
Again, another mid gank.
A lot of damage on the World Soup there. Just mid gank after mid gank from both sides.
Mid gank. Strand and Ty is cool, applying some nice pressure in the spot lane, but still Strand 20 CS down.
I mean, the fact that the CS difference hasn't grown is, I would say, a win for Strand. It's a little hard to put pressure onto a Caitlyn Karma, but once the Seraphine starts getting items, and it looks like Strand already has a serrated Dirk, so he's going to be able to put a lot more pressure than usual with a W, going the full poke build, possibly more lethality with Comet. Pyrosis trading onto Krasbuto.
That is correct, but that would put them in a... Oh, the Hecarim is coming through with Kill Switch with the ultimate. And now we have multiple fights going on. It looks like that Encore by the Seraphine didn't do a whole lot of anything. And now Strand and Ty's Cool have to get away. But this is a ghosted up Hecarim with the charge. Ty's Cool just gets smited and Kill Switch walks away. Oh, Lord Tubbyton just does so much damage with the final spark. Strand will pick up the return kill, and now Krasbuto and Pyrosis are fighting on the other side of the map. But Pyrosis getting the better of these trades.
Tubbyton using Final Spark there to clear the minion wave so that Fleece starts taking tower shots, and then followed up by Strand's W. A very clean kill. It's good roam by Tubbyton. It's hard to play for World Soup. It's gonna be hard to play for Krasbuto here.
Krasbuto might be in danger of getting... Oh no, Krasbuto! But that is a nice iframe right there by Krasbuto. Outplays with the help of World Soup. Ultimately, Pyrosis
throws E's nowhere. Throws hookshot nowhere, so has to make up for it with a great Hextech ultimatum. Just equal as all things should be.
And now World Soup is looking to get some revenge on Lord Tubbyton, who may have overextended significantly. This will get a shutdown for Killswitch, who will very much enjoy that. Nightmare trying to gank bot lane, fails miserably.
Some interesting ganks we've seen here from every side. That was like kind of a crazy overextension from Tubbyton as well. Nightmare's still in the area on a ping.
Oh, this is... Strand will fall, actually, and now Nightmare and Tao School are actually getting pushed away, and Fleas, the absolute fleeker, showing that nobody can just touch her carry.
She's just gonna TP behind from Tubbyton on the World Soup?
Oh, I mean, it's gonna work out, though. Oh, World Soup is escaping, knows that Killswitch is in the vicinity. And Fleas is just playing with Nightmare.
Nightmare is still bot lane.
And World Soup is getting very low. Oh no, Fleas actually might be dead here. World Soup will fall, and so will Fleas, and maybe a little
Caught
bit.
by an invisible Encore. I don't know if that was just a spectator bug or if it looked like that in the game as well, but...
I think it was the extension off of Nidalee.
It was the extension, but the extension didn't actually even show. That's why I'm asking if it's a spectator bug or not. But
I don't know.
Either way, Nightmare finally getting something after the 5th bot gank.
You know what they say, if at first you don't succeed.
Yeah.
It is fighting Pyrosis, but it's just going to be a little bit of poke damage back and forth. This Caitlyn has an IE picked up, so this is going to be a very strong Caitlyn, and I was actually curious about what Strana was going to go first. It looks like it is the opportunity. But correct me if I'm wrong, that got nerfed for ranged carries, I believe.
It did, quite heavily even.
Oh no, TP behind, World Soup is coming in, this could be a disaster, but Tubbyton is here as well, a 2-man Pop Blossom, and now Lord Tubbyton has an opportunity to run away, will actually flash away, and now Nightmare is here, will miss the spear. The final spark will not find anything, and now Nightmare is just getting juked out. And Strand is trying to finish off Borla, will finish off Borla. Maybe this is the opportunity for Conflict of Interest to turn it around. Tubbyton might have gotten a little too close, will get killed, will get finished off, and now Pyrosis will get killed. And Strand and World Soup are just messing around with each other, but Strand will pick up the remainder of the kills. They are the only survivor of that bot fight.
And the real winner at the end of the day, Krasbuto, getting the top tower for free, unbothered in his lane, not going to any other fight.
Pyrosis
just
0-4 right now, but that's under par for him at this.
Poor guy.
In solo queue. Usually he'd be 0-8 at this point, so
little bit of yep. Leandry's rush 2 on Nightmare on the Nidalee.
Wait, Leandry's? I
do
can't
not
even
understand.
Oh, no.
So, real commitment to the poke comp. Horizon Focus Malignance Rush on Lux, just gonna spam R. Encore from out of the bush.
Through. And now Borla might be in a little bit of trouble. Gets exhausted. Strand is taking a lot of damage, but even I think that Borla is cooked here. Borla will get taken down by Strand, and now Fleas just barely does not get snared. On the other side, the Herald will get taken by OP Killswitch, but this bot push will have to be answered in some regard.
I think they're just going to take the tower here. Fleas is going to back off as well. We have Killswitch on the way, but I don't think it's going to make much of a difference.
Pyrosis?
Watching Krasbuto from the bush. Krasbuto is just watching Tubbyton from over the wall.
Oh, Pyrosis exposed himself, though, and might be taking a lot of damage from Krasbuto.
Weird positioning all around. Just looking for more pressure on the mid. And, man, these builds on the side of Conflict of Interest, I do not know what I'm looking at.
As Echoes of Helia ever an item you first build? you build first?
Seraphine can start Echoes of Helia when she's going the full Enchantress build. That's not too bad.
I just think this Leandry is actually just...
That's
something that I
Leandry's
would do a couple seasons ago.
I can kind of get the Malignance in this comp on Lux, but Malignance is also a little bit of a weird thing to get on Lux due to how ability Ace scales, but...
Kill switch goes in, will get the Mikhails. But now with this trap setup, it's just so difficult. Kill switch, they're getting poked out, and maybe we're being haters for no reason.
Full range Leandry's Nidalee spear on the Fleece there took like 40+% of her health. I don't know, maybe Conflict of Interest is actually cooking up a delicious meal with the full poke comp. Real trendsetter. I don't think it's going to work within the next 10 minutes, but it's working for right now. These poke comps tend to be really strong around the mid game, but whenever we move away from the neutral game, it's gonna be a lot harder for them to not get engaged on. But
that is true. Once Krasbuto gets 3 items,
3 early dragons pre 20 minutes is kind of the golden scenario for a poke comp like this. A lot of early pressure, and I'm just... This game could go either way, but still, I don't think I can complain if I'm shipped without a captain. Kill Switch and Krasbuto, once they come online, it's going to be really hard for Conflict of Interest to play.
Gold is literally dead even here at 20 minutes, and like you said, either team's game. Now, I do think the fact that Conflict of Interest has Nidalee on their team, that's going to kind of make it 4v5 in the late game, but...
Yeah,
Oh no, Krasbuto got absolutely outplayed! And now Tyzcool is here to assist Pyrosis. That was well played by Pyrosis to get that solo kill.
Beautifully played interrupt on the hook shot. And yeah, just overall well played, escapes the gank from Kill Switch. And Nightmare just super aggressive here, trying to steal Krugs right in Kill Switch's face.
Knows that he has the support of Pyrosis. Old Soup is here.
And the 2-level difference in the jungle, I don't think that bodes well for Conflict of Interest. That's about a 1200 gold advantage for Kill Switch above the massive gold lead he already has with the 50 CS and the kill advantage, so looking kind of bleak in the jungle for Conflict of Interest.
That is true. Kill Switch is farming like an absolute beast. Nightmare actually will pick up that big raptor, and the top turret will fall, so...
And that's just one of the problems. One of the problems with Nidalee is that you have to execute well in the early game and get ahead, and if you end up just 3-2 and 2, your champ just kind of sucks. A little bit of an ARAM. Tubbyton covering the top wave, everyone else in mid lane.
This might be the look that a ship without a captain has been looking for, though. But they're just getting poked out. Krasbuto's looking for something. World Zoom's coming through. The Encore will not find much. But now, Nightmare tries to pounce on Krasbuto. Krasbuto will finally get taken out, but now Kill Switch is here. That final spark does so much damage. Borla's just standing in the Malignance field. Pyrosis wants to chase him down, and now Kill Switch will have to ult out with those Spectral Riders get hit by the Binding. And this poke comp, I cannot believe I am saying this is actually working.
I've seen it work before, but it requires a lot of coordination, and it's hard for World Soup to be the primary engage, especially when you don't rush Shadow Flame second and instead go the Zhonya's Hourglass build. That actually takes a lot of Neeko's damage away. It makes it very hard for her to engage, down so much CS here as well. I don't think World Soup can be the primary engage the team needs. I think it has to be Onslaught from OP Kill Switch or Krasbuto's Hextech and Hookshot to actually start these fights, because if World Soup starts these fights, they're just going to take so much damage, and then they're going to have to Zhonya's, and then they just get focused down by Conflict of Interest. And yeah, just they have to pull the trigger quick, but if they take it like that when Conflict of Interest is too far away, then they just don't have the HP.
Krasbuto falling further and further behind Pyrosis, who's just farming extremely well, has almost 3 completed items. And I think a ship without a captain has to keep on trying to look for picks or something.
They could try to force fights, and it looks like that might be what Kresbuto's doing on the side here, so... We also have World Soup right here, has Pop
Oh,
Blossom
no, they're
up.
fighting in a choke, and Fleece is just immediately dead. Pyrosis might be the sacrificial lamb, though. World Soup will actually dodge the final spark. Killswitch just can't engage, though. Just so much poke.
Massive burn, the Leandry's burn gonna take down World Soup!
I should never have doubted.
To be fair, I think a normal Nidalee just kills her immediately, but...
That's true. And now we'll see if this 3v4 is tenable here for a ship without a captain, but who's going to go in? Is it going to be Kresbuto? Is going to... Oh, Orla takes a fat spear to the face, and I think
certainly not fightable now.
Yeah.
That's going to be an easy soul for Conflict of Interest. And I don't know, the poke comp... It requires a lot of coordination to break poke comps. You need to be very committed to your dive and execute very well. And just kind of getting these weird split fights, and that's what a poke comp really likes.
Mountain Soul picked up here for Conflict of Interest, and now things are much more difficult for a ship without a captain.
That's a good soul for them as well. Mitigate some of the damages of those engages. They're going more towards Baron side here. They're probably just going to set up Vision. Nightmare just missed a spear on Scuttle Crab. That's... He's 5, 2, and 3, so I guess we can't complain though.
Horizon Focus, Leandries, man, I was being a Giga hater, and I'm being proven wrong here.
I'm gonna continue to be a Giga hater. But I can kind of see the thought process. One big spear into a group that Horizon focuses reveal not just on the target hits, but targets near the target. So, if Nightmare can land that spear, then Leandries is going to do some extra damage, and if he pounces afterwards, some Nidalee AoE damage can actually end up with more AoE damage than a Nidalee normally has. So he's... We'll have to see.
Orla might be in a little bit of trouble here. Has to flash away, but Kresbuto might be able to find a solo kill on Lord Tubbyton. Lord Tubbyton! Oh, Kresbuto does have to use the flash. Are they looking to do this Baron? I don't think they can. But they see Killswitch, and Killswitch, what are you doing? You're in enemy territory! Oh no, of all the people to find, not the jungler. Oh no. Killswitch have to run away. Will fall, and now this Baron is quite possible here for Conflict of Interest.
Pyrosis TP to the spawn bot. I don't think they're gonna... They might be looking Baron now. But they don't have a ton of damage with the Lethality Ash and the weird Nidalee build, but they're gonna go for it anyway. And it looks like Ship Without a Captain is actually going to respond.
Yeah, it looks
and they're gonna have numbers advantage.
This is the thing though, like, yeah, they have the Nidalee, they have the Seraphine, but they don't have a tank really. So it's very difficult for Conflict of Interest to do extended Baron fights.
They don't have a tank, nor do they have very good consistent damage. And both of those things are kind of necessary for these Baron fights. It's gonna take them forever to kill Baron with this comp.
What are you talking about? That Lethality Ash goes hard on the Baron take.
It's... I don't know. I mean, they're up 4k gold. They have soul. By all accounts, it looks like they're kind of just running this mid game. But one fight and a bit of a lead extension on Killswitch and Kresbuto, and still, I think it can go the way of Ship Without a Captain, but maybe that's just me being a hater. And Nightmare misses another spear on the Scuttle Crab.
Listen, it's harder than it looks, man. Have you tried playing Nidalee?
Yes. Not with... I will say I've not tried Nidalee with Leandry's Horizon Focus in the Crippling, though.
It looks like Killswitch is looking for an opportunity. Encore will find its mark. Killswitch is still alive for now. Actually will not get finished off, and Krasbuto is in the thick of it. World Soup with a 3-man pop. Blossom and Tubbyton will fall. Pyrosis might be the next, but there's just so much poke coming through. Krasbuto will fall, and now this poke is coming through. Strand ties cool. Pyrosis, everybody's chasing, but Strand overextends and will get taken out. But this is just so much poke coming through. Pyrosis smells blood in the water, but Borla is spacing quite well. Fleas will fall. Oh no, just too many shields, and this is going to be an almost ace. Only Killswitch is up here, and maybe this will discourage him from doing the Baron, but man, what a fight.
I think it's going to. They don't have any damage to really take Baron, and as kind of toothless as Killswitch probably is, I don't think it's gonna be. It will be so hard for them to take Baron with the players they had up. Nidalee doesn't do very much damage to it. Fully Lethality Jace doesn't do very much damage to it, but that poke damage from Conflict of Interest absolutely shredding the front line and back line of a Ship Without a Captain. And even with a pretty decent engage from Killswitch and a decent Pop Blossom to follow up, it's just not enough. The shielding from the Seraphine is really holding them together in these engages, making them able to survive that initial burst from Ship Without a Captain. And then after that, a second spell rotation from Conflict of Interest shreds 80+% of the health bars of Ship Without a Captain.
You think the poke is bad now? Imagine if this Elder Drake goes to the side of Conflict of Interest. If they don't end the game with that Elder Drake, then yeah, it's not gonna look good. World Soup is actually TPing, but they might have made a mistake. Gets hit by the arrow, gets hit by everything, but Strand might have gone a little too far. This Encore will hit 3, and now Pyrokas is in the thick of it, will immediately get shut down. Krasbuto has to run for his life, and Borla might get chased down as well. But while they're chasing, they're not taking the Elder Drake. It is a 5v4, but the health bars are low. Nightmare with an ambitious flash is trying to chase down and Killswitch. Will he find Killswitch? That is the question. Oh, but Tubbyton will take out Fleas. Krasbuto is actually the bodyguard here. Might be able to take out Nightmare, but... Oh no!
Oh, the spear creep blocked back into the Nidalee spear! And that's gonna be a basically uncontestable Elder to Conflict of Interest after an eternity of them taking the thing.
And now this poke comp has Elder Drake.
It's going to be unbearable for Ship Without a Captain. Ship Without a Captain doesn't really have great D push either. Hecarim, Camille, none of those champs are very good at D pushing waves, and the amount of pressure that Strand, Tubbyton, Knight, the entire team is going to be able to lay down with that Elder, I don't think it's anyone's game anymore. I think this is going to be pretty hard to throw from the side of Conflict of Interest. But
yeah, Conflict of Interest might actually be able to transition this into a Baron. The take will still be pretty slow comparatively, but with Elder Drake in that burn, should be faster than usual. I mean, they do have a Jace.
They do, and I'm pretty sure Ship Without a Captain should know they're on Baron, but they really have no way to contest this. They're just gonna have to try and turtle out. Now, Elder doesn't have a super long duration, so if Conflict of Interest sits on their thumbs here and doesn't end up doing much with Elder, it might just be a Baron take, and Elder could be pretty much token.
That's usually one of the things, though, if the map state is not good for you. Oh no, Fleas. Fleas has to be so careful. Oh, okay, that spear misses. But
that was so close.
If the map state is not good for you and you get Elder, you can usually transition it into a Baron, and then it just becomes a Baron take. The problem is, I just don't think the map's getting set up here for the side of Conflict of Interest. I think they're just kind of dilly-dallying a little bit.
Yeah, I really think they should just be in-A-ramming it and forcing it down mid. I don't think they should even be scared of an engage from Killswitch, Krasbuto, or World Soup. with the Baron wave and with Elder. Look at that Caitlyn trap, so it's quite a line in Nightmare. Big damage on the Leandries.
That turret will fall, and this will be an inhibitor at the very least. That Enchanted Crystal Arrow comes through. Hits Kill Switch. Elder Drake is still up here. Oh my goodness. Sleaze has to flash away, and they are actually making the most of this Baron and this Elder. They might just be looking for the end here. World Soup finds 3. Is this the opportunity that they're looking for? Oh no, World Soup uses the Zanyas, and Tubbington gets 2 on the lineup. Borla will fall, and it looks like the Nexus of Ship Without a Captain will fall here.
Yeah, they managed to, they were just about to run out of that Elder buff, but they did finally manage to put it away. Ship Without a Captain does not have a strong enough engage and didn't have enough deep push, kind of just forced to grovel and ends up going down to the Conflict of Interest poke comp, the Leandries Nidalee, the full lethality Ashe, and I don't know if that poke comp, it looked pretty dominant. What do you think?
I think that they somehow managed to make it work. I'm very impressed.
They made it work. The poke comp, it does have good advantages in the mid game, especially if your laners are ahead. And Tubbington got ahead very early on. That Lux was able to put a lot of pressure around the map with some of those ults. And it was just very hard for World Soup to match that much pressure, being much closer range, and Conflict of Interest just able to constantly keep their foot on the gas. I don't think a single fight went the way of a Ship Without a Captain past 15 minutes, and pretty commanding victory from Conflict of Interest, all things considered.
We'll take it to a short break, and then we'll be back with the Game 2 draft. Don't go anywhere.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Game 2 of the Summit Esports Premier League. I'm Glovely joining you here again, or joining you here for the first time in this series on the desk. We are going into Game 2, where Conflict of Interest has taken our first match. Already we see champions being locked in for the draft.
And conflict of interest, repeating the bans of a last time, I believe. A ship without a captain, definitely not. A ship without a captain switching over to banning out three pretty powerful poke champions. I guess a bit of PTSD from game one. And immediately Ari locked in from conflict of interest. Got banned game one, was incredibly important last week in their victory against Feeders Anonymous, and Tubbyton going to get that Ari again.
She's definitely proven to be a best champion in pretty much any meta. The agility that she can use to get around those team fights. If Charm hits someone, they're probably just gone, right? One more pick is going to be picked up here. Ship without a captain. Lock in the Vagar. I think that is an excellent answer to the Ari in that mid lane, or they could technically flex it to support if they wanted to. The Event Horizon, or as it's affectionately known as the Baby Cage, great for canceling out those dashes.
Yeah, it's a pretty annoying. It's not that bad of a matchup either way for Tubbyton. It can definitely be annoying to have that cage in the way, but if that cage gets put on you and you still have Spirit Rush up, you can just R out of it before it's cast early. And Lucian coming out from a ship without a captain.
Very aggressive early game champion. I mean, you could pair the Vagar with it, get the Event Horizon stun down in the early game, but I mean, I wouldn't necessarily pick the Vagar for that, known for being a late game champion. So probably another support pick going to be coming through later.
I would definitely imagine that Vigar is a mid lane response to Ari. I can't really see it ever synergizing with Lucian. It's going to be interesting to see what support is Trip without a captain does go with Milio and Nami ban.
Okay, well,
Misfortune
Misfortune,
Braun.
and I think that Braum might have been more of a answer to preventing Lucian from. Oh, that's an early game pick. Okay. Maybe not the best choice into Braum specifically. Braum does have a pretty good matchup into the Blitzcrank, being able to wall off whatever the AD carry is trying to hit him with. And hey, you pulled me into melee range. Good job. I'm the tank. So maybe not the best choice. I do like the Braum pickup. It might have been just a response to making sure that the Lucian didn't get it. The Lucian Braum is a very strong combo. Nocturne going to be the next ban on the table.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit interesting to pick Blitzcrank into a Braum. That's a pretty hard matchup for the Blitzcrank. with the Braum just being able to shield a bunch of damage and disengage if he does get hooked. It's going to be interesting how the rest of the team pairs out again. Another mid bot lane pick in the first rounds of pick, the same as last game. So we're going to have to see. Last time this was a Nidalee pick from Conflict of Interest. Going to see if a ship without a captain takes their jungler first or their top laner. I would imagine jungler, but going to be interesting to see what complements the rest of their comp. I think with Diana.
Diana. Okay, I can sort of see that. I mean, you set up everybody in the event horizon, and that leaves you open for, Diana to sweep in and ult everybody together, right? Or in reverse order would work just as fine as well. Um, Very, very aggressive jungler. Great clear speed. Overall, very good pick, I think. Doesn't mean that they don't have a front line, but you usually pick that up in the top lane in this league anyway. Camille, though, is very much not going to be that tanky front line. No, that is a very aggressive pick in that top lane.
Yeah, blinding Camille. We saw this last game as well. Except last game, it was a ship without a captain on Camille. Krasbuto had. Yes, Krasbuto. Sorry, having a bit of misspeak. Yeah, Camille was on the side of ship without a captain, and Vi, kind of aggressive from Conflict of Interest. Gonna be Vi and Camille engages, followed up with Spirit Rush, and then Renekton from a ship without a captain. Both teams gonna try and it looks like they're both playing pretty hardcore team fight comps here. Gonna be interesting to see who can execute it better. Moonfall into Renekton ult with the culling on the back end. Gonna be a ton of damage from a ship without a captain. Similar story with Bullet Time from Conflict of Interest. Which team do you see which composition here do you prefer, Glowy or Glovely? Sorry.
It's kind of interesting because looking at both of these teams, it feels like they have maybe a champion that doesn't work with what the rest of their team wants to do. With like the misfortune, team fight set up on the one side, and then the Blitzcrank being sort of that single target pull when the rest of your team is team fighting on the other. But personally, I think I like the ship. I like a ship without a captain doing much more here. I love that team fight style composition. I love the crowd control that every single one of their members, except for the Lucian, brings. And I think that when you start grouping up during those later stages of the game, it's not going to matter as much if Misfortune ults you. That just makes her a target for everyone who's going to be diving for her.
Yeah, I think I could go either way here. I think I see conflict side. I can see a ship without a captain. It's going to be interesting to see who can get ahead in the early game and transition to the mid game. But I believe it is about time for us to head to a break as we catch up with spectator delay. Anything else you have to say?
I would just say, watch those junglers. Both of them are going to be playing very aggressively, just based on the champion picks.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Game 2 of A Ship Without a Captain versus Conflict of Interest in the Summit Esports Premier League. I'm your host, Joan Glovely. Happy to help you here as we move on to the Rift for the second game in this series. Blitzcrank gonna pop out. Looks like a little bit of a death brush being set up over there watching for the invade. But with a 5-man spread on the other side, nothing much is going to come of it. We start moving on into the first game. Anything catching your eye as interesting or unusual here?
It's kind of funny to see the Blitzcrank be on the 5-pointing side and the Braum here being on the stacking side, but it makes sense. They're just heavily anticipating that Fleas is going to want to invade with the decently strong early comp and the Blitzcrank book, but I think Fleas knows that they're going to anticipate that, so they're playing a little bit of 5D chess and just ultimately taking the safer approach. But Lane look like they're going to set up for a tri-bush pull here, but there is a ward there from Conflict of Interest.
Bot out on the vision. We'll see if the bot lane notices. They have, and they're going to go ahead and retreat to the bot lane.
And Killswitch spotted out starting Raptors. So that's going to be a pretty big information advantage for Conflict of Interest. I do not believe that anywhere on Ship Without a Captain spotted Nightmare, so one side's going to be a little bit blind on where the jungle is.
Ooh, first hook, rocket grab finds Braum, and that's what we were talking about, just completely walls off anything Lucian wanted to do. Tyus Cool still going to take quite a bit of damage here as the Blitzcrank tries to line something up.
Yeah, and that's why I'm thinking the Blitzcrank's a little bit of a questionable pick into a Braum.
Oh, there's another rocket grab. Does find the Braum again. Tyus Cool taking a lot of damage. Ignite Burn. Flash is going to be used in response. Tyus Cool will stay alive. A little chip damage sent back. That is a lot of resources to try and get an early lead.
Super aggressive play. It does kind of work out for them. They have a bit of a push advantage. And Strand has to burn heal as well of all of Tyus Cool's summoners.
Another engage up in the top lane. A lot of damage coming out from this Renekton. The Croc is trying to dive. He'll take first blood.
And level up timers. Level 3 Krasvuto, level 2 Pyrosis.
Ooh, another rocket grab. This one's going to make it work. I guess maybe this Blitzcrank, if he lands all the hooks, it's going to do a better job than we were expecting.
I mean, if she's going to land every hook that she throws, and it doesn't really matter that it's a counter matchup.
Gonna go ahead and shove that under, probably back, and pick up some first items.
Yeah, can't complain at all. If I'm Ship Without a Captain, first blood going to Krasvuto on the top side, and an early kill for Vorla. Good wave state. Lane's going to be pushing, I believe. Okay, it's just reset, but they're going to push it into them. So overall, very good start for Vorla. Very good start for Krasvuto. Pyrosis is going to be on a little bit of a back foot here, but the wave is pushing into him.
Oh, we do see the jungler coming on up. Nightmare looking for the target. There's the stun. They do find it. Will they be able to keep it in place? Flash is going to be committed, and Krasvuto will back off.
And I think that's pretty big for Pyrosis, as Krasvuto is going to stop Nightmare's back, but that's big. Takes a lot of the pressure away that Krasvuto has with that early gold advantage. And now that wave's kind of an awkward spot for Krasvuto. Right where you wanted to get behind. And
meanwhile, bot lane, stand behind me, gets him to safety. Don't quite proc the stun on the Blitzcrank. They'll walk away. Another rocket grab. Great job from Fleas.
Just hitting every single one of them. I guess, again, it just doesn't matter if it's a bad matchup. You just land it every time.
Yeah, I mean, she's doing a pretty good job of showing us, like, what you can do with the early game power of this champion. Like, yeah, the Braum does block off a lot of your damage, but I guess he's not offering a ton of offensive pressure in response, and you've got the Lucian on your side for that early game lane bullying.
Yeah, and Strand's starting D-Ring here also, whenever longer fights happen because Fleece get pulled in, it really hurts to be taking the D-ring start. The whole idea of the D-ring start is just to spam those E's to get a little bit of early pressure. But when Fleece has so much more pressure, it's just hard. It's hard to justify the item buy.
It's hard to win neutral there. Pyrosis does a great chip. It's going to get responded to. Krasbuto doing a lot of healing. Renekton's such a great early game champion. We are seeing exactly why. Pyrosis is going to go ahead and pop a potion to heal himself up. Trying to find the engage. Will not find it. Both of these sides just kind of feeling each other out. Keep an eye on those junglers. We do see Dragon is going to be started up on the bottom side of the map by that Diana. So Kill Switch, we'll see if they can pick that up for their team.
I will say Pyrosis down an early kill, but up 20 CS. Big fight happening here.
Oh no, Pyrosis is going to be forced to retreat. Is down in items, so it's a pretty difficult fight to take. We're going to pick up the Chemtech Drake off of that. Looks like Vi's going to trade the Void Grubs back.
And Renekton has issues in some short trades, and Camille very strong in these short trades. Pyrosis just looking to take these short little trades, then hookshot away, and use the Camille passive to make up the HP.
Ooh, Rocket Grab finds Braum again. Ty is cool, blocks it all off, but there's not enough damage in response. No, they actually do get the stun. That's Blitzcrank passive as well. Great trade. Meanwhile, Nightmare caught out in the enemy jungle. World Soup is going to pick that one up. Lord Tevington now caught in the baby cage. Will he be able to escape? Looks like he's just going to be able to wait that out. World Soup doesn't have nearly enough burst to take down 2 targets.
Yeah, again, everything looking much better start for a Ship Without a Captain last game. But Fleas, Borla both are pretty low on HP.
Oh, another rocket grab. There's the exhaust onto Borla. Good pressure. Winter's Bite does land. Flash committed. Flash follow-up. There's the bullet time. Strand picks up a kill.
And shout out to Tileschool there, jumping in front of Strand to take that rocket grab. Otherwise, that fight could have gone an entirely different direction.
I mean,
very, very close. Like they were.
Ooh, Lord Tubbyton caught in the event horizon. Does manage to dodge. Oh, you can't dodge the ultimate. That's gonna take you out.
Yeah, Primordial Burst just going to lay low Tubbyton, and a lead here for World Soup. It's gonna be. It's Ari can play decently well from behind, but scaling champion with a lead is never something you want to see as a mid laner going against it.
And that 2-0-2. Oh, Krasbuto gonna pop the ultimate domination. Look it up. Gonna try and corner Pyrosis in the corner. Does not have the jump yet. Taking a lot of damage. Can he get away? No, that's gonna be another kill for this crocodile.
Yeah, and I think Pyrosis just misplayed that. I don't know if that E was a misclick or he thought Krasbuto was going to do something else, but he burned E super early in the fight on that top side wall, and not only it didn't get him the stun, and it burned the ability without getting him any farther away from Krasbuto. I don't know exactly what he was planning with that, but those long fights with Dominus from Krasbuto is just almost always going to be better for the Crocodile.
Keep an eye on the laners here. We do have an in-lane gank from the Diana. Killswitch trying to find an opening. They have been hitting these rocket grabs, but again, they've only ever been hitting the Braum, which is something that needs to be taken into account, which is why Tyus Pool is able to tank things up, even though they're going to use the advantage of being under the turret. Lord Tubbyton is here, tries to fire off some damage, not able to lock down a target. Killswitch goes in, pops the ult, only finds one. There's bullet time for 2 members of the team. Nobody's dropped yet. Who's going to be the first to fall? It's going to be Killswitch. Tyus Pool throws up the shield. It's going to keep him alive long enough to pop the rest of the members. That's going to be a double kill over to the Misfortune. Great play.
And yeah, the Moonfall into Culling, just not enough damage early on to actually kill Tubbyton. Just able to Spirit Rush away from that, and then a great bullet time to follow up. big ult cascade there, and it turns out beautifully for Conflict of Interest.
Crosbydo getting the worst end of that trade. We'll see if that last Pyrosis not in a super great spot. Nightmare trying to do something about it, but doesn't have a ton of room to gank. There's the Hex Tech ultimatum committed. Does pop the Dominus to try and keep himself alive. Pyrosis is going to keep himself a bit longer alive with a passive, and there's the Jungler on the other side. Double kill for the Renekton. The Croc is unstoppable.
To call the Meek healing with the bonus HP from Dominus, just barely enough to keep Krasbuto alive. That has to feel bad for Pyrosis and Nightmare. They had a nice gank setup, but they just didn't have enough burst to take down Krasbuto. And again, those long trades pretty much always gonna favor the Croc. And yeah, now it's gonna be really hard for Pyrosis. 0-3 again.
4-0-0 here on that Crocodile. Picked up an Eclipse as well as Phage. The teams appear to be descending on the Dragon. Tyus Cool does find Kill Switch. That's a great charm. Locked up into the stun. Lord Tubbyton gets the credit. That is Jungler down. That's probably going to be the Dragon. Oh, going in again. Great charm. There's the Orb of Deception. Lands some good damage. Spirit Rush not going to be able to follow. There's a huge engage from Pyrosis. Maybe a little bit of an overextend. Takes 2 tower shots and gets no damage.
Did burn a flash. The issue is how many plates he's going to lose topside. He lost a wave. He's going to lose 2 waves, his tower, and I'm not sure how many plates started there, but a massive gold swing. I don't know exactly how much that is, but I would guess that has to be at least 1,000, if not more gold, going the way of Krasbuto. Honestly, probably more like 1,300. As nice as the flash is to get off World Soup, I don't think that play was worth it. Now he's going to be really far behind.
I mean, the crazy thing is that this game is still considered, all things considered, still pretty close here. Only about a 2K difference between the teams, and getting a little bit closer here as the farm comes in. Tyus Cool trying to find an engage angle, not going to find it. No wards to clear there. Just continuing on the pressure. This bot lane is in such a great spot.
Yeah, this looks really good for Strand now. A lot of Borla's early pressure kind of just falling off. That serrated Dirk power spike gonna be pretty big for Strand. I'm not entirely sure what he's building first item though. A little bit of a weird build.
World Soup, that's a huge commitment. Great Event Horizon keeps him alive a little longer. Not long enough. That's going to be a shutdown going over to the Ahri kill switch. Not able to turn that around.
And just barely Tubbyton not in Lunar Rush range from the Diana. Again, very unfortunate. Pyrosis has to commit so much, and Krasbuto just doesn't care. He's just going to take the resources. Bit of a fight happening topside.
I don't know if you could call it a fight. It seems like he's just getting bullied underneath his tower.
Yeah, I guess. Never mind.
Well, only one of them is able to just ignore the other person's shield, right? And with that Eclipse, he's saving himself from a ton of damage while also proccing his own shield.
He's become the Diana now. Or not Diana. He's become the Camille.
I am the Camille. Someone had better Photoshop me a picture of like Camille with Renekton's head on it. Pyrosis gets jumped on, forced to flash over the wall. Krasbuto gonna be the one to pick that up. Pops the Dominus to stay alive. Gonna try and chase down Nightmare. Flash is committed to get the Vi out of there. It's just Lord Tubbyton who does get caught up on the edge of the event horizon. Not gonna take enough damage in order to be blown up. Maybe if there had been a Primordial Burst follow-up, but not quite enough range or damage there. Kill Switch going to go ahead and take out the Rift Herald, and that's going to be the objective, traded over for those kills.
Yeah, not a ton of, as we can see, not a ton of damage early whenever you take that build from World Soup. Playing more for survivability than damage. Going Seraph Embrace / Archangels. And, you know, it pros and cons, and we just saw one of the major cons right there. You go a different build, Tubbyton definitely dies to that Primordial Burst. but going to be a lot more survivable from the dive from Nightmare and from Pyrosis. And if you can get another spell rotation in, it doesn't really matter that he does less damage in these
I mean,
teamfights.
playing the Vagar, like, you don't need to be really strong in the early game when you've got this
No.
Renekton on the top side, right? This 5-0-0 Renekton Crossbudo playing out of his mind here. Like, you can afford to lay off a little bit, take some time, build up the stacks of the mana proc. You're the late game carry.
Yep. Just kind of the contingency plan here in case something happens with Krasbuto, but Krasbuto, he's 20 CS ahead and 5-0, but with the amount of waves and 2 towers he's taken, he's significantly more gold than that looks like, and it's already a significant amount.
Ooh, Rocket Grab is going to be dodged out. This is the Cloud Soul that we'll be keeping an eye on. You can see that dragon will be spawning here relatively shortly. Team's trying to rally for position. Krasbudo moving down to that bottom side of the map. Gonna go ahead and let that Vagar collect some stuff. Pressure being put here on this mid lane. Gonna use that Rift Herald. Force it down. Give themselves a better opening for the dragon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it makes sense to stick Krasbuto's strong side here, but
Oh, huge committal. But Nightmare not going to be able to do anything with it. Tyazko will protect the Misfortune, leaving this Renekton to get CC'd multiple ways over. Does stay alive for an incredibly long time thanks to that healing, but will not be able to get out. Great Hextech Ultimatum. Shutdown is going to go over to the Ahri. Strem will be forced to retreat. What a great team fight, being able to isolate that Renekton. Oh, it might not be over. Might not be over. Lord Tubbington caught in a weird position here. 1 versus 3. Flash is committed. Going to be caught, charmed, stunned. World Soup is going to be the one to take that. Oh, answer from Pyrosis to take Borla on the back lines.
and even still, when the dust settles, it's never mind. Dust
Oh,
haven't
what
settled.
does? There's the ultimate committed to pressure through the event horizon. Flash is also going to be committed as well. Fleece will stay alive, but she is going to be giving up the dragon pressure for that.
Yeah, finally, we have a bit of a lull, but at the end of the day, I think a conflict of interest came out a little bit ahead in that large trade. Tubbington getting that shutdown is actually going to be pretty huge. Although Tubbington's going to build a bit of resistances here. Instead of going full damage, instead of going the typical Horizon focus that you would expect from an Ahri second item. And I don't know, I think when you are such a big damage threat, I don't know if that's the best idea, but we'll have to see if it pays off for him.
Looks like Kill Switch is just going to sneak away this dragon. No one is contesting them on that. Yep, they'll go ahead and pick up that Cloud Drake. So 2-4 ship without a captain. We've got to decide on what the shorter name for that is. Do we just call him ship or captain, or no, without a captain?
Possibly, but again, Krasbuto getting a 3rd tower. So much gold in that crocodile. And they did shut him down last fight. If they can make a trend out of it, then it's going to be kind of difficult for ship without a captain. They still have 2 other decently strong carries, but wow, I guess the Edge of Night going to block the rocket grab from Fleece there. A bit of lollipopping, but I guess the Edge of Night, first item, actually showing some benefits.
I mean, it's a good answer into the Blitzcrank, and if you want that early pressure in the bottom side of the map, not a bad idea to buy some lethality for that matchup.
It is, but
Does kind of hurt your ideas
health
in
is-
the long run.
health is a bit of a dump stat on... No, I don't believe the lethality itself hurts the ideas, because it looks like Strand's building full lethality. Just the HP is kind of a dump stat, and the AD and lethality gives not super great, but when it comes in clutch and prevents a death, and I think the main idea is that it prevents you from getting knocked out of bullet time. And in that regard, it might be a pretty good pickup.
or just the matchup specific to the Blitzcrank. I mean, we did see the rocket grab going to be blocked off, but I guess Blitzcrank could just walk up to you. Not going to make much of a difference. Strand will go down. Borla gets the credit. Will also get destroyed. Fleece also going to be taken down as the team collapses. Kill switch. You're on top of a ward. They know you're there. Pyrosis maybe in a bad spot. Drops the Hextech ultimatum. Charm is gonna lock them down. Nightmare taking the kill as Krasbudo now is surrounded by 4 members. Pyrosis on a killing spree. Great turnaround.
CC lock before Krasbuto can even do the call to Wimik, and yeah, kill switch. It's very difficult to play Diana from behind. She can only really go in, and it's hard to find good windows whenever the enemy team has so much damage that you're going to get blown up. And right there, we just saw Fleece and Borla a little bit too greedy to get that pick on Strand, and getting collapsed on by the super mobile team from Conflict of Interest. The Camille, the Vide, Ahri big rotates, and Nightmare from a bush.
Please, caught in a bad spot. Does have a little help. There's going to be the stun, but bullet time comes through. They're going to commit multiple ultimates to try and pick that up, but they may be caught in a really rough spot. Teleport is coming through. They'll see if they can add anyone to the backside. No, Lord Tubbyton is actually going to back away, just going to teleport into the lane. I think what we're seeing here is sort of a difference in rotation speed is what this is coming down to, because we're seeing multiple members in situations where they can all commit to a fight onto a single target, right? Like, that's what's happening to this Renekton. Even though he's so far ahead, he's been caught out twice and on his own and just kind of soloed down by the rest of the team. World Soup maybe in a bad spot, does answer with the Event Horizon. Pyrosis taking a lot of damage from the Coaling. Shutdown's gonna go over to... oh my goodness, the Veigar. Rocket grab, almost grabbing from over the wall, but not quite. Ty is cool on his own against Krasbudo. Better back off, buddy. I don't think you can handle this Crocodile. Not as a support.
And yeah, what you were saying, same thing I said last week with the Ahri pick. It just adds so much value in the rotational speed, and their whole comp, you can see that value coming out.
Ooh, Flash committed, but it's not over. Dominus committed for the dive as well. They're going to pick up Strand. They're going to pick up the tower. Now they're heading towards the Baron.
Or Strand, another kill under his another death under his own tower. And welcome to being an ADC with no dash in 2024.
Mobility creep has done some things to the game. Not positive things, but things have certainly been done to the game. My complaints aside, they're going to go ahead and pick up that Baron Nashor. Team's going to back off and reset to prepare for the big push. Ooh, Pyros is trying to find someone over the wall. Event Horizon comes through. Fleece taking a ton of damage here. Pyros is now burning down. Krasbudo not able to follow up. Be forced to back away. A bunch of summoners blown there. Fleece still sticking around, just trying to find that rocket grab.
Fight doesn't end.
Goodness. They're trying to find a target. There's a lot of poke coming out, but nobody is finding any big crowd control or any big engages. Just a lot of poke, and it's not a surprise. That's a dragon up right there. Could be Soul Point if Ship Without a Captain were to pick it up, but looks like Conflict of Interest are in the better position for this upcoming fight. Ty is cool in the front lines. Has already popped the Unbreakable, so doesn't have it for this moment as he's caught. Gonna be singled out. Kill Switch will pick up the elimination. Pyros is trying to find a target here. Team's getting split up. It's gonna go over to the red side. Ship Without a Captain, Soul Point.
And a well-played contest there, burning the spells from Tile's Cool and just making him an easy target. Then the rest of Conflict of Interest is just forced to back away because now they have no good response to a strong engage from Diana and a strong culling. They're just forced to back away from that fight. And yeah, like you said, gonna be Soul Point for Ship Without a Captain. And what an interesting game. 7k gold lead for Ship Without a Captain, but more fights.
There's the engage. Again, Krasbudo caught out almost alone except for the Diana, who's just going to pop the ultimate, get caught out with him. Another elimination, but while this all is happening on the other side, the eliminations come through for the other team. They do put down some pressure, but they don't pick up any resources off of it.
Yeah, and again, it's just so hard for Kill Switch now. It's just one of the... It's Diana's design that she just really only has one thing she can do well, and that's go in. And when you aren't very strong and all the resources are on other people on your team, it's hard for you to play the game. Moonfall, though, does still have good grouping value, but a little too over-aggressive in the side lane. A good response from Conflict of Interest. Another kite's gonna break out to the
Objective
mid.
bounty was claimed. Does throw up the Unbreakable to try and rout everything off, but Sren is out of the fight. World Soup on a killing spree. Engagement for underneath the tower, but Pyrosis may be biting off more than he can chew. He's gonna get singled out, forced to retreat. Event Horizon splits the team, but there's the jump over the wall. Nightmare not able to find a target. Tyus Cole once again on the front line. They do pick up Fleece in the back. That's a Blitzcrank down. The back line is down. It's just Lucian against the world. He is not gonna take it. He will take one with him. Kill Switch is actually on the backside. Krasbudo is here. 2 versus 1 in a turnaround here as the team tries to engage Pyrosis. Trying to escape, not going to have the necessary resources, will go down. That's going to be the ace for the Croc.
And it was a good initial fight from Conflict of Interest. It started off as a pretty long fight, and their comp kind of lends itself to those long fights. The issue was the only reason they could take that fight was because the carries of Shift Without a Captain were kind of awkward there. And once they finally repositioned themselves, Shift Without a Captain was just able to roll over the stragglers of Conflict of Interest. And it's a pretty big fight for them. Baron buff is down now, though, so we'll have to see what they'll do in the lull state while we wait for the next dragon and the next Baron to come up. This, again, will be soul for Ship Without a Captain.
We've been talking about the rotation speed, right? Like, who is there, who's available in the fight. But there's also the factor of even if fewer of your members are in the fight, if they do enough damage on their way down, you're just enabling the people who weren't there to clean up when they arrive. Right? Sometimes it is just about buying time for the rest of the team.
Yeah, absolutely. And we saw that there. Ship Without a Captain doesn't... Their comp's a little harder to do rotations, but whenever they're given enough time, it just does not matter.
We are coming up on 28 minutes into the game. It looks like the engage from Pyrosis onto Krasbudo is going to happen. There's a Nightmare in the background to try and back him up. Oh my goodness, this Croc is hard to put down. Almost takes Pyrosis with him, but I think it's not going to have quite enough healing. It's going to get brought down. 4 members committed for that, though. Meanwhile, the rest of the team is able to... No, actually not going to put enough pressure on that side of the map. They will just go ahead and claim that objective bounty and the kill with no response.
Yeah, I just a bit of a macro misplay. The neutral objective that Krasbudo was pushing for wasn't up yet, so he was still vulnerable. Kill Switch, let's be in vision there.
Trying to do something here with the follow-up. Does have a teammate. There's the teleport. Kill Switch over the wall. Teammate teleporting in. Great job from the Veigar. World Soup will be the one to pick it up, though Borla certainly did a ton of damage with that culling.
And now we see Pyrosis dead instead of Krasbudo.
Ooh, supports. Find each other out. Come on, guys, let's go. Supportal combat.
Supportal combat. They decided the better of it because we would be here for 25 minutes as they tried to whittle each other down.
It would be glorious the entire time. But joking aside, they are starting to collapse onto this dragon. This is important because it is soul point. Tyus Cole throws up the Unbreakable. There goes the objective bounty. Cloud Dragon is going to be taken. Bullet time just completely deleted as red swarms the screen.
Yep, pincered there, and I don't know if that was a good call from Conflict of Interest because now they're going to lose Baron, and as nice as it is to prevent that Cloud Soul going the way of Ship Without a Captain, I don't think it's worth giving the Baron, especially in a game state like this. They're going to be able to get that wave pushed in, and the better team fight from Ship Without a Captain, if they take one more fight, it would be curtains. The split Covington, though, might be able to get one tower on the bot side, but they're going to have those empowered recalls. Smart to get those side lanes pushed out while they're taking the back. That way they'll have a little bit less pressure. Looks like Covington is going to pick up the tower. But
One tower for a dragon or one tower for a baron is not necessarily the best rate, especially when your whole team gets wiped for it. But
it's
I mean,
not...
you take what you can get.
Yeah, exactly. You just have to take the scraps that are given to you at this point in the game, with how far ahead Ship Without a Captain is.
It is now an 8k gold lead in favor of Ship.
Yeah, oh, like another fight here. But
Let's see. Nope, no one's gonna follow up on that. Rocket Grab was committed, but not enough follow-up from either team.
not gonna take the bait. Ship Without a Captain. They're just gonna... It looks like they're just gonna wait for Krasbuto to push in that bot wave. Or they're gonna fight. I think they're just stopping the rotation so that Krasbuto can get an easy push in. And then, if I had to guess, they'll either try and collapse on bot or rotate back mid, which they're gonna rotate back mid right now. Get those two waves in with the Baron buff.
This to me is a roaming hit squad, right? These guys are not necessarily here to... I mean, they're setting up the vision, they're roaming together, they're here to team fight because they know that that's something that their team excels in as opposed to their opponents. But also, I would not want to run into this team in the middle of a dark alley. By keeping this pressure up here, not only do they maintain that section of the jungle, but they're also keeping the pressure off their top laner in the bottom side of the map.
Yeah, and it's pretty textbook on how you use it.
Oh, nightmare. You're going 1 versus 4. Taya's cool leaping in to get him out safely, but not going to be able to follow up on that engage. No one around.
I don't think they would want to if they were around.
Glacial Fissure just come through. There's the bullet time onto 1. It only finds Krasbuto, but that is a pretty big target.
Yeah, it may only find Krasbuto, but it's kind of enough. Bullet time down, though, they're going to be a little weaker. Braum ult down as well.
Grabbed it, gets onto the Edge of Night, so that cooldown is expended additionally. Just go ahead and put down the pressure on this turret. They do have 2 cannon minions. Looks like they're going to be forced to retreat. Oh, kill switch in a bad place. It's going to get caught in the back lines, though. Great turnaround. World Soup on a killing spree. That Event Horizon is splitting these fights in half. Fleece is going to get charmed up and will get exploded. Great engage on the back line as Kill Switch tries to fight a target. It does not do enough damage at this point in the game, but it does not matter. It is now World Soup against Tubbyton in this big final matchup. Thank you. Double kill. That's going to go over to an ace for the Ahri.
Yeah, and Ahri showing where she excels. Those long, extended scuffles, not super coordinated, kind of split fights, and that's just exactly where Ahri thrives. It's kind of hard for the Veigar to play there. Very awkward fight, but a big turnaround for Conflict of Interest.
$500 skin putting in work. Yeah, I mean, if you spent $500, you better be actually good on it, right?
Absolutely.
Better get your money's worth out of that skin.
But yeah, I mean, the later this game gets, I don't know, it's going to be interesting to see if Ship Without a Captain is actually going to be able to close out, because if they keep playing like this, Conflict of Interest can easily get back in the game. I don't think that Veigar is scary enough to ward off some of the engages of Conflict of Interest. Looks like it's going to be a bit of a fight here. Again, Ship Without a Captain still on Soul Point. Big Dragon. Let's see how it goes.
I mean, the biggest benefit to the Veigar is that you pick somebody and you blow them up. It's harder to do that to multiple targets. They're going to throw down the Event Horizon. Good block. That's going to give them the Cloud Drake. There's the engage. Red is continuing to swarm. Ty is cool, running for his life. Is not going to be able to get away. Double kill for the Croc. Fleece taking a ton of damage. It's just Lord Tubbyton alive with that $500 skin. Is going to go ahead and back away. Unfortunate team fight, but I mean, hey, you preserve the Ahri, you preserve the Lucian, you get your Diana back onto the field pretty quickly. It's not as bad as it could be, and hey, you've also, well, no, that is a Cloud Soul.
It's pretty bad. That's going to be
pretty
Cloud
bad.
Soul the way of Ship Without a Captain, and that's huge for Kratz, Buto, and Lucian especially. It looks like they're going to siege the Nexus towers here.
This could be game as we do see the engagement by Roses underneath. That's going to be a Hextech ultimatum, just gets blown up. Tubbyton not going to be able to defend the Nexus. It's 4 versus 1. That's going to be game. Ship Without a Captain takes game 2.
And that's going to make us 1-1 in the series. Ship Without a Captain taking game 2. Is this how last week went for Conflict of Interest? Won the first game, lost the second, and then closed out in the third. Be interesting to see if they're going to repeat it. But any final thoughts before we go to a break, Lovely?
I think we've seen the value of what a good team fight composition could do, right? But I think we've also seen maybe to not underestimate the Blitzcrank.
No, Fleece, even in a bad matchup, amazing rocket grabs early, and yeah, just really strong throughout the entire game. It could have been a little bit cleaner, I think, on the end there, but overall, Ship Without a Captain played it well. Gonna be interesting heading into game 3, but I believe we're going to head to a bit of a break as we get draft set up for game 3.
Works for me. Let's go get a snack. Hi, folks. A bit of a surprise to see you back so soon, but we've just gone ahead and received word from our production team that one of the teams has decided that they will not be able to continue in this matchup due to one of their players being unavailable.
Looks like a Ship Without a Captain is going to take the victory as Conflict of Interest has to forfeit the final match. Sad to see it happen, but sometimes life gets in the way of games, and Ship without a captain, I guess we'll take the victory. We'll have to be happy with taking a victory, but it's always so unsatisfying to get a win via FF, and it's always heartbreaking to take it as a loss. But again, things happen. Wish we could have seen Game 3.
But I think we'll be okay. I think things might be different the next time these two meet. We'll see if things turn around when that does happen. But for now, at the very least, this has been Summit Esports Premier League, and we're signing off until next time.